What is faith? Is it just believing in something with your eyes closed, no questions asked? A lot of people think so. They hear faith and immediately picture blind belief, a leap in the dark against all reason. But what if I told you that for centuries, especially within Christianity, faith has been understood as something much deeper, much more rational, and far from blind? Today we're going to unpack this complex and often misunderstood concept. We'll explore the difference between faith and blind belief, how reason and faith can work together, and why this idea is so central to so many people's lives. Stick around, because this might just change how you see the world. So let's get the big one out of the way first. Faith is not the same as blind belief. Blind belief is accepting something without any evidence or reason, maybe even in spite of evidence to the contrary. It's like insisting the sky is green when all your senses and all the data tell you it's blue. True faith, particularly in the Christian tradition, isn't like that at all. It's more like trust. Think about it. You have faith that a chair will hold you up before you sit down. Why not blindly? You have past experience with chairs. You can see it's well made. You understand the basic physics. You have reasons to trust it. Your trust isn't absolute proof. You haven't done a stress test on that specific chair, but it's a reasonable trust based on evidence and experience. Christian faith works in a similar way. It's a trust in God that is built upon reasons. These reasons can be personal experiences, the historical accounts in the scriptures, the philosophical arguments for God's existence, the witness of other believers, or the beauty and order found in the natural world. It's an informed trust. The famous theologian St. Augustine said, "I believe, in order to understand." Notice the order. Belief isn't the end of the road where you shut down your brain. It's the starting point for a deeper understanding. Faith opens the door, and then reason walks through to explore the room. It's a dynamic partnership, not a battle between two enemies. This brings us to a crucial point, the relationship between faith and reason. In our modern world, we're often told they're opposites. You can have one or the other, but not both. You're either a person of science and reason or a person of faith and superstition. But historically, especially within the Catholic Church, this is a huge misunderstanding. The Catholic view has always been that faith and reason are like two wings on which the human spirit rises to the contemplation of truth. You need both to fly. One without the other leaves you grounded. Think of it this way. Reason can tell you a lot about the world. Through science, we can understand the laws of physics, the mechanics of biology, and the vastness of the cosmos. Reason can build bridges, cure diseases, and send probes to Mars. It's an incredibly powerful tool for understanding the how of the universe. But can reason answer every question? Can it tell you the why? Can science prove the meaning of life? Can a mathematical equation explain love, beauty, or justice? These are the questions that reason alone often struggles with. They belong to the realm of metaphysics and theology. This is where faith comes in. Faith builds on what reason discovers. It takes the observable, rational world and proposes an explanation for its ultimate origin and purpose. It suggests that the order, beauty, and intelligibility of the universe that reason observes isn't just a random accident, but points to a transcendent, intelligent creator. So, faith isn't against reason. It's a fulfillment of reason. It answers the deeper questions that reason itself raises. As Pope John Paul II wrote, "Faith and reason are not in conflict, but are partners in the search for truth." Let's look at some history. The idea that faith and reason are enemies is actually a relatively new one, really gaining steam during the Enlightenment in the 17th and 18th centuries. Before that, for over 1,000 years, the greatest minds in Western civilization were often theologians and philosophers who saw no contradiction at all. Take St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the most influential thinkers in history. His massive work, the Summa Theologica, is a masterpiece of logical reasoning. He didn't just say believe this because the Bible says so. He painstakingly built logical arguments for God's existence and the tenets of faith, drawing heavily on the pagan philosopher Aristotle. For Aquinas, faith was the starting premise, the revelation from God, and reason was the tool you used to understand and explore that revelation as deeply as possible. He believed that since both truth from faith and truth from reason ultimately come from the same source, God, they can never truly contradict each other. If they seem to, it means we've made a mistake in our reasoning or misunderstood an aspect of faith. This tradition goes back even further. Early church fathers like Justin Martyr and Clement of Alexandria engaged deeply with Greek philosophy, seeing it as a preparation for the gospel. They saw seeds of the word, or hints of truth, in the best of pagan thought. They weren't afraid of reason. They embraced it as a gift from God that could lead people towards Him. They argued, they debated, they used logic. They understood that a faith that cannot be questioned or reasoned about is a fragile faith indeed. A robust faith is one that welcomes scrutiny because it's confident in the truth it holds. So, when someone says, "I don't have enough faith to be a Christian," what they often mean is, "I have intellectual questions that haven't been answered." And that's a perfectly valid place to be. The Christian tradition, at its best, doesn't say stop asking questions. It says, great, you have questions. Let's explore them together. The journey of faith is a journey of inquiry. It involves doubt, struggle, and a constant search for deeper understanding. It's not about having all the answers right away. It's about trusting that the answers are there to be found and committing to the search. Let's bring it back to a more personal level. How does this work in a person's life? It starts with an encounter. Maybe you see an incredible sunset and feel a sense of awe that science can't fully explain. That's a data point. Maybe you read the Gospels and are struck by the person of Jesus' wisdom, His love, His radical claims. That's a data point. Maybe you experience an act of profound, undeserved kindness from someone, and it moves you. That's another data point. Faith is what looks at all these data points, the rationale, the experiential, the historical, the personal, and makes a holistic judgment. It's the conclusion that the best explanation for all of this is the reality of God. It's an act of the will, informed by the intellect. You weigh the evidence, you consider the arguments, and then you make a choice to trust. It's not a blind leap, but a step of trust onto a bridge that you have good reason to believe is solid. And once you step onto that bridge, you start to see things from a new perspective. Your initial act of faith allows you to experience a reality that you couldn't see before. The Christian life is then a process of walking further across that bridge, with faith and reason holding hands, constantly learning, growing, and discovering more about the destination. The Bible itself talks about this. The letter to the Hebrews famously defines faith as the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Notice the words, assurance and conviction. These aren't words of flimsy guesswork. They imply a solid, confident trust. It's a conviction about a reality that is not physically visible to us right now, but for which we have good reasons to believe exists. It's looking at the evidence in the created world and in history and concluding, with confidence, that there is an unseen creator behind it all. So, to wrap it all up, let's discard the caricature of faith as a blind, irrational leap in the dark. That's not what it has meant to millions of thoughtful people throughout history. Real faith is a reasonable trust. It's a partnership where reason explores the world and asks the deep questions. And faith provides the ultimate answers that give our existence meaning and purpose. It's not about turning off your brain, but about engaging your whole person, mind, heart, and will in the greatest adventure of all, the search for truth. It's a journey that welcomes questions, thrives on inquiry, and is built on a foundation of evidence, experience, and reason. It's a conviction about the unseen, based on the profound evidence of what is seen. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today. I hope this gave you a new perspective on what faith really is. If you found this helpful or interesting, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What does faith mean to you? Let's continue the conversation down there. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.